Hi guys, April here with Traveling Our Beautiful Earth, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite places, Costa Rica. You'll hear me say one of my favorite places a lot, but this really is one of my favorite places. There's lots of different things that I love about a lot of different places, but for me, like, my favorite trips are always like the naturey ones and stuff, and with Costa Rica, you cannot go wrong. Costa Rica is a small country. It's about the size of West Virginia. Those who live in the States knows that's not too big of an area. It takes a little bit longer to navigate than West Virginia, though, because of the rough terrain. It has a population of 5.05 million as of 2019. It's located between Panama and Nicaragua in Central America. Yeah, it's one of my favorite places. I went there. I stayed by the post-volcano area. I also stayed in La Fortuna. People who know about Costa Rica know La Fortuna is a big tourist destination, as well as Santa Teresa, which was like a little more laid-back place. Even though I was only staying in those three places, I did a lot of traveling throughout the country, so I got to see a lot of it. So I feel like I got a good feel for the country. But there's definitely more to see and do, so I will be back. With that, here are my top 5 things that I love about Costa Rica. I'm going to start with number 1, which I said, the animals. And for me, that's an important thing because I am much of an animal lover. Costa Rica is super diverse, and from jaguars to many different species of monkeys, lemurs, and all that other fun stuff. It has a large selection of poisonous snakes and things that can kill you. But usually you're pretty good if you stay on the paths and you know how to hike and whatnot. I really, I was never really much of a snake person until I went to Costa Rica and I saw these beautiful snakes. They're just vibrant in color and they look like flowers, and they're yeah, you definitely don't want to touch them, but they're really cool to look at. There's lots of places in Costa Rica where you can get up close and personal with animals without having to go to a zoo. You obviously have to be careful, don't touch the animals, but yeah, you get to see a lot of animals, and that's what I really love about Costa Rica. Number 2 would be the climate. What's the climate in Costa Rica? Well, everything. It has deserts, it has tropical rainforest, it has, beaches, it has high altitude mountains where it's like spring like year round, which who doesn't like that, where it's not too cold, not too hot. So whatever kind of climate you like, you can find in Costa Rica. I'm good with that as long as it's not freezing, which there's nowhere. By the post volcano, it did get cold at night because the elevation. We were staying in an Airbnb that was rustic. You could see through the walls. There was wind blowing, and I surprisingly got really cold. But you know what? It's all part of the experience. It wasn't unbearable. Okay, so number 3 going on. What did I have here? Adventure and activities. There's so much to do in Costa Rica. It's very tourist friendly. I went surfing for the first time and learned that I can surf. I know how to surf, and I did a decent job. I was pretty proud of myself. For 30, at the time I was 36 years old and getting a surfboard for the first time, so that was cool. Zip lining. They have the coolest zip lines there. I went to this one, I don't know the name of it, but yeah, if you go into like La Fortuna, this is where I went. They're all good. Like, they have really amazing zip lines. I actually went and zip lined above a waterfall, like high up in the sky. I had no idea I would be that high up in the sky. And like when it was time to go, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty scary. But once you go and you're flying through the air, it was actually raining. I got rain all in my eyes, and like it was pretty intense. I got covered in mud, but it was so fun. It felt very freeing to be up in the trees and just flying above the waterfalls. I would definitely suggest that. Like hiking, horseback riding. You can go like canoeing and whitewater rafting and night hikes. Like the list just goes on and on. It's not like the cheapest place for activities, but you can find really cheap activities. We went to a place just inside town and walked around, and we saw all kinds of animals in this jungle. And people there are really, they're really inviting. Like I went on a tour, I think I paid like $10. And the guy was like, "Oh, come back tomorrow. I'll show you some monkeys and whatnot." And like took us on like a little safari just for the hell of it. Like just wanted to be nice. Um, you won't be bored. And there are like so many activities. Like I said, it's a little more expensive, but there's so many activities you can do for under like $15. You can go. There's even a national park in La Fortuna. You can go and get out and actually just walk around and observe, and you're right there in the nature. It's pretty amazing. Number 4 is the landscape. Like I said, the climate's constantly changing, the landscape's constantly changing just depending on where you're going. While driving, we drove over rivers and we drove through deserts, and there was even like this one place that we went to where there was all these craters in the ground. It looked like you were on another planet. Like there's these craters in the ground, and some of them were filled with water, and there was no one around for miles, and just like some random cows walking by, like drinking out of the hole in the ground. And I mean, mountains to the sky, like the landscape, like you can see every kind of landscape, kind of like in the US. Like the US is a big country, but like you can get a little bit of everything there. And this is like a very small country, and you get like the dramatic changes. Like if you're driving and an hour later, you're somewhere totally different. We actually stopped in this one town and like went out to eat, and it was a desert, and it was totally different than anywhere else in Costa Rica we had seen. So if you are in Costa Rica, I would suggest driving around and seeing the landscape. Just be very careful because the roads can be a little terrifying at times. And going on to number 5, besides the driving, it's a very safe and friendly country. Like I said, we drove all over the place, and I never felt unsafe anywhere. I've been to a lot of countries where I did feel safe, but not like where I explored the whole entire country and I felt safe. We were driving into like midnight, and yeah, it definitely felt safe and inviting. Everywhere I went, like I felt like I was making friends with people. Even though my Spanish isn't like awesome, I made it work. And just the communication and the drive, and I felt just like just driving through the country, like so safe and comforted and happy. That's the general feeling that I felt there. If you have not been to Costa Rica and you like traveling, you like nature, you like beaches, all that stuff, go to Costa Rica. Seriously, go to Costa Rica. You will not be disappointed. I will be back to Costa Rica, but my next plan is probably going to go somewhere new, which I will post more about later on when I decide. I'm going to do something within the U.S., something in the mountains, and something outside the U.S., somewhere I've never been. So that's kind of my next plans. If you like travel and travel-related videos, if you could like or subscribe to my channel, Traveling Our Beautiful Earth, I would appreciate it. And with Costa Rica, there's so much and so many people that have been there. If you have anything to add to this list, please just post it in the comments because I'd love to hear. I plan on going back and would love to learn more about it myself. If you have any questions about Costa Rica, also ask me because I love talking about Costa Rica and sharing the experiences with other people because, yeah, it was a magical place, and I will love to go back. So I didn't post a video last week. I had just gotten back from Belize and had a lot going on. I actually just got a new phone. So from here on out, I'm hoping to continue making a video every weekend. So please like and subscribe, and I will talk to everybody later. Hope you have a wonderful day.